Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Thummala and my credentials are I have 8 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations, internal security and in-depth analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this video is in regards to how to crack prelims 2020. And prior to that, you have a notification in regards to the subscription of Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, which is India's largest learning platform. And once you get subscribed to this, you will have access to unlimited live and recorded classes from India's best educators. And the privileges you get once you subscribed are that you have daily live classes wherein you can chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts and be part of the answer polls. You also have the live test and quizzes wherein you can evaluate your preparation with our regular mock test and quizzes and get detailed analysis of your performance. You also have the structured courses wherein all our courses are structured in line with UPSC exam and which will help you prepare for it. You also have the unlimited access. Upon subscription, you would get access to all our live and recorded courses, which wherein you can watch from your mobile or from the laptop. And you also have the top educators at Unacademy. They are Sudarshan Gujar, Roman Sai Nisar, Prakash Kumar, Ayush Sanghi, Venkatesh Chaturvedi, Jatin Malik, Dr. Siddharth Arora, Ankit Kumar, and various others top educators are there. And in the UPSC CSE English, you have various other courses. They are polity, they are history, current affairs, economy, geography, optional courses. Along with that, you have the UPSC CSE batches, environment and ecology, and also science and technology. And the other courses in UPSC CSE are you have governance, you have practice and strategy, you have CSAT paper, you have ethics, integrity and aptitude, also Indian society, social issues, essay writing, internal security, answer writing courses, and also the interview preparation course also you will have. And in regards to the UPSC CSE subscription, you have 12-month subscription. Along with that, you have the 24-month subscription. For 12-month subscription, the amount original price is 40,000, wherein you can subscribe the course using my code SBT10. And once you use my code SBT10, you would get 10% off on the 40,000, and the amount discounted amount would be 36,000. And you also have the 24 months, that is the original price is 48,000. You can go ahead with subscribing using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10. And once you subscribe with my code, you will get 10% off on 48,000, and the discounted amount would be 43,200. So you would be paying for the 24 months, that is 48,000, wherein you will be actually paying for 12 months plus 1 month, that is for the amount of 13 months, that is 40,000 plus 8,000. You are actually, what do you say, getting through an offer, that is for the entire 24 months you are getting it for the amount you pay for 13 months only. So please do take the maximum benefit out of this and then try to go ahead with subscribing 24 months, which will be very useful for you in regards to the civil service preparation. And in regards to civil services preparation, it is very essential that you need to have a solid preparation for 2 years. So having the privilege that in the 24 months you are just paying for 13 months, take the maximum benefit. And then once you subscribe with my code SBT10, you would also get additional 10% discount on the 48,000, and you are only to be paid 43,200. So if you haven't still subscribed, go ahead with the subscription for the 24 months. You can see, or you can have my live and recorded courses, not only mine but also the all the educators in respective of all the courses, you can go ahead with viewing the classes. So now we will get into the topic, that is in regards to the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And before getting into the topics to be discussed, I would just wish to tell you the importance of analysis of the Hindu newspaper, because it is very important that we need to understand the keywords which are being mentioned in the newspaper as per UPSC examination. So your comprehensive understanding and thorough understanding of the particular issue or the current issue is very important for the prelims and mains point of view. Thereby, the in-depth analysis of the news items or the contemporary issues are very important for prelims and also mains point of view. And my video or my lecture will definitely focus on the keywords which would be very useful for analyzing the topic, analyzing the issue, wherein we can try to fit in both the prelims 2020 and also in regards to the mains answer writing techniques. So thereby now we will get into the discussions what we would discuss for today. And the topics to be discussed today is Bharat Biotech, Jeevan Light, Supreme Court notice, flights of migrants, and then foreign portfolio investors. So we will look at the 5 topics to be discussed today, and then I hope the one who are all watching would understand better the importance of analyzing the news item the way I discussed today in my lecture or in my video. You will have a better understanding from the prelims and also from the mains point of view. Now we will get into the topic Bharat Biotech. So there is a news in regards to the Bharat Biotech vaccine for COVID-19. So it very clearly says that the Bharat Biotech's vaccine is for the COVID-19. So we will look at what is that for the COVID-19 the vaccine is for. And this Bharat Biotech is the one which is headquartered in Hyderabad, and it has come forward or it has come a further step to develop and test an intranasal vaccine. So this is very important for prelims point of view. This is the intranasal vaccine. So the Bharat Biotech, which is actually set to develop and test the vaccine for the COVID-19, is an intranasal vaccine. Again, for prelims point of view, please do understand this factual, that is the intranasal vaccine, and it is the vaccine is called as the coroflu, coro coronavirus, coroflu, influenza flu. So coroflu is a one drop vaccine. So it is an international nasal vaccine wherein you will go ahead with uh, giving a one drop vaccine which is built on a flu vaccine backbone. So you have a another vaccine which is based on the another flu vaccine backbone. Based on that, this coroflu is been developed and tested, and this is been actually a safe and a well tolerated by humans, especially which has been conducted in the phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials by the Bharat Biotech. So this is a one drop vaccine which is intranasal nasal vaccine which is called as coroflu, and this is a product which is a part of international collaboration. So this is an international collaboration of virologists. All the international collaboration of the virologist institutions have come forward at University of Wisconsin, that is Madison, and then the another firm, that is vaccine firm called as Bluegen, and then Bharat Biotech. So again, this is very important in regards to the prelims point of view, that which are the one who have been part of the product, that is coroflu, which is been tested by the Bharat Biotech. So the other one which is been part of the Bharat Biotech is the international collaboration by the international collaboration of virologists at the University of Wisconsin Madison, along with a vaccine firm called as Flugen, and then Bharat Biotech. So this you need to understand that, keep in mind for prelims point of view, University of Wisconsin Madison along with the firm, that is Flugen, and the other firm is the Bharat Biotech, which is headquartered in Hyderabad. And coroflu, the one which is the vaccine, intranasal vaccine, will be built on the backbone. Now, this is what I was talking about. It will be built on the flu vaccine backbone. So it is the backbone of Flugens. This is the company, vaccine company, which is Flugen. So based on that, or the backbone based on the Flugen company, Flugen's flu vaccine, it will be developed, and this vaccine candidate is known as M2SR. So this vaccine candidate of the Flugen's vaccine firm is actually, what do you say, which is developing, or which has the earlier developed as M2SR, and this along with the Flugen, Bharat Biotech and the University of Wisconsin-Madison in collaboration with the international virologists have come up with or developed and tested intranasal vaccine, that is Coroflu. I suppose you are understanding it. So this is known as M2SR. Now we will look at what is M2SR, and this M2SR is developed by Flugen, which includes technologically, which is licensed through Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation. Again, this is very important for prelims point of view. This is, M2SR is developed by Flugen, which is licensed by WARF, that is Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation. And this M2SR is a will be modified by adding a part of the coding region from the coronavirus spike protein. So you have proteins in the coronavirus, which is called as spike protein. You have membrane protein, and you also have the envelope protein. So these three proteins are the one which actually, what you say, constitute the coronavirus. And then in regards to the one which gets affinity to the human cells is the spike protein. The spike protein of the coronavirus gets affinity or gets bonded with the human cell, that is the human cell, the receptor. The receptor of the human cell is ACE2, ACE2. The receptor of human cell is ACE2, ACE2. So this is the receptor which has a bonding to the spike protein. So once the spike protein has a bonding or the affinity to the human cell receptor ACE2, it immediately, what do you say, develops or multiplies in the human cell or human body. So what they are doing is, now this M2SR will be modified by adding a part of coding region for the with the spike protein, and that the virus uses the latch onto cells. What is a unique form, wherein this is a unique form of flu virus. Please to understand, this is M2SR, which is developed by Flugen, which is a unique form of flu virus, wherein this M2SR lacks a gene called M2. In this M2SR, there is a lack of a gene called as M2, and this gene which is lacking M2, it will restrict the virus for undergoing a single round of replication in the cells. That means there wouldn't be a M2 actually, and this M2, because of this M2 which is not what is present, it will restrict the single round of replication in the cells. So now we will look at what is this replication in the cells. So this single replication means the virus can enter the cell. Please do understand it. The virus can enter the cell, but it can't leave. So please do understand this. It will enter the cell, but it cannot leave, because again, once the virus is developed, multiplied through the receptor, that is ACE2, it cannot, what do you say, be as a, it cannot take the ACE2 as the human cell as the host or the reservoir, and then further again it cannot come out of the human being and then spread the virus. So here it will enter the cell, but it cannot leave. It tricks the body into thinking it's infected with flu. That means it tricks, that is, this virus, it will make sure that it is infected with the flu, which triggers the full immune response, but it can't replicate further. So here replicating cannot take place. It will only get into the cell, but the multiplication doesn't take place. As I have said in the earlier case, the spike protein enters into the human cell through the receptor ACE2, and this ACE2 is the receptor which is having an affinity to the spike protein, and in turn it will what multiply. It will multiply, the virus will multiply. But here in this case, with this single replication, means through the M2SR, there will not be any kind of multiplication or replicating further, and the human don't get sick because there is no multiplication which is happening because of the M2SR. The human being doesn't get sick, or there are no symptoms of coronavirus. So you have understood the entire intricacy of the Coroflu, wherein the Coroflu is from the backbone of the flu vaccine candidate known as M2SR. So this is the main M2SR, wherein in this M2SR it is a unique form wherein it lacks the gene called M2, and this is what you say, it is making a single round of replication undergoes only the single round of replication in the cell. Because it is a single round of replication in the cell, the further replicating, that is multiplication, doesn't take place. And once the multiplication doesn't take place, the virus is not what you say spreading. Even though it gets into the human cell, it wanted to take the human cell as a host, and then it wanted to take the human cell as the reservoir, but it cannot prove it as a reservoir because it is not replicating, as it is a single replication. So this could be again in the prelims point of view. It could be again in the science and technology a question asked in the prelims, wherein what does the single replication means in the M2SR. That means it will enter the cell but it can't leave the cell, and then this is what it can't replicate further. And then Coroflu, the vaccine, is just like as M2SR, will be delivered intranasal. So this is the one which is very important for prelims point of view in regards to Coroflu, M2SR, single replication, and then it can enter the cell but it cannot leave the cell, and thereby because it can't replicate further, humans do not get sick. And this is by the combination or in with the international collaboration of virologists, University of Wisconsin-Madison, and then the vaccine firm called as Flugen, and also the Bharat Biotech. So these are very important for the prelims point of view. And now we'll get into the next topic, that is Jeevan Light. So IIT Hyderabad startup has developed a ventilator which is portable ventilator, and these ventilators are now very important or essential because of the pandemic or COVID or coronavirus patients, especially the elderly people. It is required. So IIT Indian Institute of Technology Hyderabad Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, that is CFHE, Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, has, along with the Aerobiosis Innovations, has developed a low-cost portable ventilator. So who are the one who are together? That is in regards to the IIT Hyderabad Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, and then also the Aerobiosis Innovations have come together, and then they have developed a low-cost portable ventilator, and it is called as Jeevan Light. And this is again very important for prelims point of view. The portable ventilator, which is developed at a low cost by Indian Institute of Technology Hyderabad, that is Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship, is called as Jeevan Light. And this device is a Internet of Things, that is IoT. Again in regards to the science and technology, based on the science and technology, you would also get a question in regards to the portable ventilator started by the startup of IIT Hyderabad. It is Internet of Things enabled, IoT enabled. Please do understand, which is very important again for prelims point of view. And then it can be operated by a phone app, and it also runs on a battery operated. And Jeevan Light can provide both invasive and non-invasive ventilators. So what does invasive means? Any aggressive or warlike or any situation wherein it is very important, so it can work at the time of warlike situation, that is aggressive, it is very much needed, it can go ahead, and also in regards to the non-invasive ventilations, it can go ahead. So the one who are watching this live, you all are probably understanding the importance of Jeevan Light in regards to the, that is, portable ventilators for the prelims point of view. So it can be a rechargeable lithium ion battery. Again, this is important, what kind of batteries, if at all the, what you say, UPSC tries to focus on what are the rechargeable part of, that is the lithium ion batteries. Again, for May prelims point of view, it is to be taken into consideration, lithium ion batteries, and it is for the 5 hours, not really important, but it is very very important, or it is useful for the elderly people, because they are put on ventilators for life support, especially the coronavirus is affected, or the COVID-19 is affecting the kids and also the senior citizens, that is the elderly people. So the elderly peoples are the one who require these ventilators, and this is based on the rechargeable batteries, that is the lithium ion. And this entire Jeevan Light portable ventilators have been designed in compliance with, we will look at compliance with how many, or which are into that, that is Ministry of Health, and then Director General of Life Sciences, Defense Research and Development Organization, Chairman Technical Committee, and ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research. So this could be the, what do you say, question, because there could be a statement given that the design and feature of Jeevan Light, which is a life support as a portable ventilators designed by IIT Hyderabad, is in compliance with which among the following, or else you would give the statement 1 2 3 4 and then which among the following is incorrect. So what is incorrect is the Ministry of Health, Director General of Life Sciences, DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization, and also the Chairman Technical Committee and Indian Council of Medical Research. So all these are, what do you say, the Jeevan Light is being designed in compliance with all this. So this is again very very important for prelims point of view. So please do understand the way I am trying to make you understand that which could be the probable questions, so that you are very well equipped for the prelims 2020. And now we will move to the further the next topic, that is the Supreme Court has issued notice to the government. So Supreme Court has issued notice to the government, and in regards to why it was issued notice to the government by the Supreme Court, it was in regards to the testing, especially in regards to testing, wherein the testing has to be free. That is what the petitioner has challenged the price cap. So what was the price cap? That in the private organizations or the private hospitals it is 4,500, but the petitioner has challenged that the testing has to be done, wherein the testing should not be even in regards to the price capping, that is 4,500, but it should be in regards to the free testing. So when the petitioner has challenged this, the Supreme Court has looked into it and it has responded to the petitioner. The Supreme Court has responded to the petitioner, wherein the petitioner was seeking free COVID-19 testing facility, and this is very important, that he was seeking the free COVID-19 testing facilities at all the laboratories, including the private ones. So this is the main point the petitioner has challenged in the court, saying that not even, what do you say, 4,500 has to be charged in the private hospitals, but, or the private laboratories, but it should be, what do you say, free testing facility has to be provided, and it has been challenged, or it has been, what is the petitioner has challenged in the Supreme Court, and then Supreme Court has responded to it, and then the bench led by Justice L Nageshwar Rao has issued his notice on a plea or the petition which was filed by Shashank Dio Sudhi, who challenged that the prices should not be, what do you say, 4,500 in private labs or hospitals, but wherein it has to be for the testing has to be free. And then Mr. Sudhi, that is the one who has filed the petition or challenged he has filed, or his argument is based on that it is discriminatory. It is discriminatory. Why it is discriminatory? Because when the government is, what is say, going ahead with free testing, why the private hospitals or the private laboratories are charging 4,500? So it is discriminatory and it is violation against the fundamental right of life, that is article 21. So the petitioner has filed, or he has challenged in the Supreme Court, saying that while you are going ahead with, what do you say, capping the fee of 4,500 in the private laboratories, it shouldn't be that, but it should be at the free of cost. And if they are going ahead with charging, then it is violating the fundamental right of life, that is article 51. So what is important for the prelims point of view is article 51 in regards to the testing which is been done, which is at the rate of 4,500 in the private laboratories. So this is very important in regards to prelims point of view. Again, you have a very good information or one point in regards to the prelims point of view, wherein the testing you are linking it with the violation of fundamental rights of life, that is article 21. If they are charging, or if they are not charged, what is say, if they are taken with free testing, or if they are charging, then it is against. And then the petitioner has asked the court to direct the government to revamp of the testing facilities, because he says that it is a need of the hour to go ahead with the more of testing facilities, because at this moment, as there are more of, what do you say, mortalities which are taking place, that is more of lives are being taking, I mean deaths are taking place, because of the deaths which are happening, or the deaths are surging or increasing. So the petitioner has asked the court to direct the government to escalate, that is to increase the, what do you say, testing rates, because the deaths are also increasing. Because the deaths are increasing, the ramp up, that is the increase of the testing facilities, should take place. So it is a very good initiative taken by the petitioner Sudhi, that he wanted to make sure that the testing should be at a free free of cost, and not only free of cost, but the government has to, what is a, ramp up the testing facilities. And then you have the other one, that is in regards to the plea seeks minimum wages. There is a plea which seeks the minimum wages for the migrant workers. So this is what the Supreme Court is also putting forward, that yes, it is the important that because of the national lockdown, as we have seen, the one migrant workers were the one who were mostly affected, or they were distorted across many states. And it is very clear that because of the national lockdown, we have seen that the unorganized sectors and the informal sectors were shut down. And because of the shutdown of the unorganized or the informal sectors, it is very important that the migrant workers have to be taken into consideration. They have to be protected, because they are the, what is it, daily wages or daily laborers. And because of the shutdown, because of the production units being shut down, manufacturing units shut down, or unorganized or the informal sectors totally been, what you say, locked down, it is important that the central and the state governments have to pay the minimum wages to the unorganized sectors, or the employees or the workers working in the unorganized sectors. So the Supreme Court has expressed concern. The Supreme Court has expressed concern over the plight of the migrant workers. So this is what is important. The plight of the migrant workers are being taken into consideration. And then the Supreme Court is talking about they have to be taken into consideration because of the national lockdown. And then it is, what do you say, expressing the concern, and it is asking the union government to respond by April 7th, that a petitioner has filed that the central and the state government should pay the migrant workers minimum wages. So a petition is filed in the Supreme Court that the government has to, what do you say, come up with the option that the central and the state government should pay the minimum wages to the migrant workers. Why? Because these are the migrant workers who are working in the unorganized or the informal sectors, and because of the lockdown, the entire manufacturing or the work is totally down, that is, it is totally shut down. Because of this, there are no jobs in the unorganized sectors. As such, it is the responsibility of the central and state government who have come up with the national lockdown, and because of the national lockdown, it is a necessity the petitioner feels, and the petitioner is demanding minimum wages to be paid to the migrant workers. And then the Supreme Court has looked into it, and it has given the union government to respond by April 7th, that is by Tuesday. And a bench which has been led by Justice L. Nageswara Rao has looked at it as a very serious note, and it was filed by a petitioner called as, he is an activist called Harsh Mandir and Anjali Bharadwaj. So they are the activists who have filed the petitioner in regards to the central and state government should pay the minimum wages to the migrant workers. And then the Supreme Court has expressed the concern, taking it as a serious note, and then asking the union government to respond by April 7th. And the bench also has taken a suo motu cognizance in regards to a letter sent by a Trinamool Congress MP, that is Mahomotre, highlighting the conditions of the migrants who have been stranded across the national borders without jobs and essential items. That means because of the shutdown of the unorganized sectors, the migrant workers have moved from the respective states to their respective states, in which states they have come to work, to their own or to their states or the districts they were going. And the Ministry of Home Affairs have given a notice that the national highways have to be closed down, and then these migrant workers have to be quarantined in a quarantine camps for 14 days, and then they have to be given shelter, and then they have to be given even the food also. And then a suo motu cognizance has been taken up by a letter sent by an MP, Mahua Motre. That means the bench or the Supreme Court can take it into consideration even if a letter is sent by an person, that is in this case an MP has sent a letter, and based on that the letter was considering or highlighting the conditions of the migrants who have been stranded, who have been kept in the quarantine camps without jobs and essential items. And then the Disaster Management Act 2005, which mandates the center and the states to pay the compensation to one who have suffered losses during the disaster. And yes, this is a disaster. And then even the Disaster Management Act 2005 is also invoked by the central government because of the national lockdown. And based on the Disaster Management Act 2005, it mandates or it implies the center and the states to pay compensation to the ones who are suffer or who are suffering losses due to the disaster. And this is very important again for the prelims point of view, because which among the following act mandates the center and the states to pay compensation to those who have suffered losses during the pandemic COVID-19? So the act is Disaster Management Act 2005. So this could be again a probable question in the prelims. So please do concentrate on the acts which have been invoked by the central government. Disaster Management Act 2005, Epidemic Disease Act, you have seen 1897, again Essential Commodity Act 1957, you have the Indian Penal Code, you have the section 44 of the Criminal Procedures Code, and you have this Disaster Management Act. So all these acts have to be taken into consideration before you go ahead with preparation, or before you take up the exam, that is the prelims 2020. There is a possibility that there could be a question framed, which among the following acts were not invoked during the national lockdown. And you have the another news in regards to the foreign investors sell 1 lakh crore securities. So this is again in regards to the economy, wherein the FIIs or the foreign institutional investors or foreign portfolio investors have been, what do you say, in the spree of, or in the panic selling, they have been going ahead with that in a month, and then they are selling the marketing, what do you say, the Indian market securities have been totally, the shares have been sold, and this is for the first time in the history this has been taken up, or we have experienced that 1 lakh crore of securities were sold in a month by the foreign investors. And this is very very important again for prelims point of view, that in a history that never this kind of, what do you say, securities are been sold by the foreign investors in India or Indian stock market. So it is in regards to the foreign portfolio investors have sold the securities in a single month, that is in a single month. And it is the history, I mean never in the history of Indian stock market it has done it. But there is something which is happening in contrary to the FPIs. So FPIs are foreign portfolio investors who are selling, they are selling the securities. But there is something which is again coming to the rescue of selling, which has been done by the FPIs, that is you have the DIIs. This is again very important for prelims point of view, and analytical question which could be a probable question in the prelim 2020. I repeat, an analytical question, I'm saying an analytical question for prelims 2020. And then you have the domestic institutional investors, as you have the foreign institutional investors, the same way you have an, what do you say, institutional investors who are domestic. So the domestic institutional investors are buying, there is a selling spree which is happening from the foreign portfolio investors, but there is a buying which is happening from the domestic institutional investors. This is very very important for analytical point of view. Please do understand, this is analytical point of view for prelims, and as well as a better understanding for mains point of view. So my lecture, my way of, what do you say, linking the various aspects in a given issue will be making you thorough, making you equipped, making you enhanced in the way the UPSC is demanding from you. And these are the ones, the domestic institutional investors include, again this is very important for prelims point of view, banks, it includes banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, domestic financial institutions, and these are the one which have been a strong counter force. They are a strong counter force for the foreign investors, that is DIIs are the, what do you say, strong counter force for the FPIs. So there is something which is happening between the FPIs and the DIs. This is what you need to look at it. This is how you need to focus the news, not just look at the foreign investors have, what is it, sold over this. Yes, they have, but you have to have the linking between the FPIs and then the DIIs. That is very very important while you are analyzing for the prelims and also for the mains point of view. And then in this current calendar itself, the FPIs have sold around equities worth 51,832 crores of rupees. Please do understand again, 51,832 crores of rupees of equities have been sold by FPIs. But you have something contrary to the FPIs what we have discussed, that is the domestic institutional investors which have brought these FPIs have sold, and these DIs have brought the shares worth 74,554 crores. So there is definitely which is a contrary which is happening to the FPIs. And then as per the data in regards to the NSDL, that is the National Securities Depository Limited. Again, this is very very important for prelims point of view when you are linking this pandemic COVID-19 versus the economy, or the, what do you say, securities or market securities. Then the data as per the National Securities Depositors Limited, the net outflow from the debt and equity segments are pegged to 1.18 lakh. So the entire outflow, that is the selling spree which has taken place by the FPIs or the FIIs in regards to the debt and equity market or equity segments, is equivalent to 1.18 lakh crores of rupees. This is just for better understanding. This point is just for better understanding in regards to the analytical questions if they are framed. And then we have seen that this has taken place in the month of March 2020, when we are trying to compare it with what you say 2020, wherein it has been 1.18 lakhs of what do you say net outflow, that is selling. And then when it is in regards to the June 2013, almost 7 years back, the net outflow was just 44,000 crore rupees by the report which is given by the National Securities Depository Limited. So this is again a better understanding, wherein you are comparing the outflows which has been taken up in June 2013, comparing it with the March 2020, and the impact of the record sales by overseas investors. Sales by investors, that is the overseas, that is the FIS, has been clearly visible in the stock market. That is, we are talking about the Indian stock markets, wherein the Sensex, that is the Indian Sensex, Indian National Sensex, it could be Bombay Stock Exchange or National Stock Exchange, registering its worst monthly fall in over 11 years. So this is because of the pandemic or the panic selling which is taking place across the globe, and then it has impacted even the Indian equity market, and then it is onto the benchmark, that is the Sensex, that is the sensitive index in regards to the markets of Indian, that is Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. It is the worst monthly fall in the 11 years. So this is what the impact of the COVID-19 onto the equity markets. It could be globally, and it could be even in regards to the Indian markets also, that is in regards to the stock exchange or the stock market. Even if you look at the entire world market, that it is shrinking, it is shrinking, it is shrinking down further, and then there is a spree of panic selling which is happening. But one point to be understood here is, there is the foreign portfolio investors are selling, but in contrary to that, it is the buying which is being taken up by the domestic institutional investors. So we have looked at length in regards to the prelims point of view today, and then focused a bit thoroughly that you are well equipped and with you are all confident in regards to taking up the prelims 2020 and also mains 2020. So I hope definitely my lecture, my explanation will be an added advantage class, added advantage session, a YouTube, what do you say, class or YouTube session, which will make you more equipped for prelims 2020 and mains 2020. And thereby I thank you that this session was informative, knowledgeable for you all. And then please do like the channel, subscribe the channel, hit the bell button for further notification when you are viewing the YouTube, that is the Let's Crack UPSC CSE channel. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, that is Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, please do subscribe using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10, and please do subscribe for 24 months, because you are being benefited if you are subscribing for 24 months, because for 24 months you are actually paying only for the amount wherein you will be paying for 13 months. So the amount wherein you will be paying for 13 months, now you have an offer, whatever you will be paying for 13 months amount, because of the offer you will get it for the same amount you will be getting, you can subscribe for 24 months. And by using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10, you will get further 10% discount on the amount, that is on the 24,000, which the actual amount is 48,000. So upon using my code SBT10, the amount for the 24 month subscription would come down to 43,200. So if you haven't still subscribed, please go ahead, take the maximum benefit of it, subscribe it, and then make sure that you take the benefit of going ahead with my classes live and recorded classes, and not only my classes but also all the other educators who would take the other topics or other courses also you can view live, and then recorded classes also you can take the benefit. So I would take leave. Thank you. See you tomorrow, same time.